Hello everyone, Oregon Moto John here. Today I'm upgrading from the EJK tuner, which I've put almost 3,000 miles on, and I want to be clear, I have not had any trouble with it. Zero zip, no trouble. Bikes actually run great, but everybody talks about the GET ECU, so I really just wanted to try it. That's what I'm doing. So I have the SC1 GET ECU made by Athena and with Takomoto. And has a traction control switch, 2 maps, trail map, and a map that gives you all the power. Adjustable traction control and a full ECU upgrade. Comes with the little Y splitter, so you can add your map switch and your Wi-Fi, so you can pair it to your phone, it's incredible. Comes with all the instructions as well as videos. This is so you can wake up and run your ECU if you don't want to use the bike. I'm just going to use the bike to run it. But anyway, I'm excited to do it. This isn't going to be an installation video as much as I'm going to compare it to the fuel controller that I had on here. This bike, I took the reeds out of the intake, and I just have a billet end cap on here with the spark arrestor. And so that's the only real, I haven't done any internal engine mods, but when I did those things, I knew I needed to do something, and this kept me from flaming out. I adjusted my idle up to spec, and when I put this on, and it's been great. Sometimes when I'm in a mid-position throttle range, I noticed the bike didn't want to go steady state very well. It just wants to accelerate or decelerate, because this is just mirroring, adding fuel to the stock map, which is what this has right now. So I just wanted to see what the difference is. This just as good as a $250 roughly unit, as good as this $1,000 setup I have over here? You know, I don't know. I mean, the other unit doesn't have traction control and only has 1 map, not 2. I mean, it doesn't even have 1 map, it's augmenting the factory map. So if you're interested in this, come along. And I'm not going to do a pre-ride with this because I've already ridden it almost 3,000 miles with this. So I know what it does. And I was going to do that, and I'm like, I don't know what the point is because I know how this runs. And I've actually been riding my Husky a little more lately so I would know the difference, you know. But it runs great. I don't have any trouble with it, but I'll go ahead and install it now. And again, this isn't an installation video. I couldn't do better what Takomoto did. They did a great job, so I don't feel I can improve on that, so there's no reason to try. But it comes with all the instructions, it comes with videos. It looks like it's going to be real easy. So let me go ahead and install it, and then we're going to go for a ride, and I'll tell you what I think. And it needs to be said, I have done nasty single track road rides with this EJK, Doback EJK fuel controller, piggyback fuel controller. I have done everything with it, and it's done it, and it stopped my flame out. So I just want to be clear. I'm happy with this fuel controller, and for the value, you cannot beat it. So I want to make that so very clear. I got the GET ECU in, taking it for its initial ride. It was actually easy. I had to undo my other installation, so that took me a little bit of time, not much, but a little bit. And then it went through, installed just like the video by Takomoto. It really was easy. I plugged it in and it started right up, but then anyway, I just, zip tying things where they needed to go and all that, cleaning things up. But okay, first ride, let's go. Nice is now I have a map 1 and a map 2 just by pushing the digital gauge adjuster here, switch. There's a toggle switch, but I got the digital one, which I like, and then I can adjust my traction control from that. I haven't figured out how to use the traction control yet, but I don't think it's hard. I just haven't. I got so excited to start the bike and ride it. That's what happened. So I'm sure you guys understand. And I would have rather had this switch over here on the left, but I just had too much stuff over here. I had my GPS and my heated grips, and I didn't want to move it. I just didn't want to mess with it, so I installed it over here. And, that's what I did. So, anyway, I got it on map 1. The bike isn't quite warm yet, so I don't know that I'm going to try to really rip on it, but, oh, wow. So nice and smooth throttle response, but powerful. And again, my bike isn't warm, so I don't want to wail on this thing. But you know, the little piggyback fuel controller really was quite good in comparison. So so far I'm pretty proud of my little piggyback controller. That's the one I took off. I mean, this one is good, but I've mainly so far noticing the difference at low speeds. That this is a little smoother at some of the lower throttle opening speeds, a little finer, and how it's doing that. And yeah, when I let off the gas, it doesn't just cut the throttle to nothing, and it's not so jerky. So you definitely are gaining some refinement here. Get a little more heat in the motor here. And this is map 1, which is all the juice. It feels good. Yeah, just really smooth throttle response. Very nice. Definitely an improvement. I'm happy I did it because, you know, so here's my scoop on this. If you have a bike, you're not really sure if you're going to keep it or keep it that long, I'd probably just get the piggyback and go ride. But this Husky has been one of my Husky 350 has been one of my favorite bikes, and I've been through a KTM 500 and 690, and those were all great bikes. No knock on them, but sometimes I end up on technical stuff, and then I like having something a little lighter. But if I were doing highway, I'd definitely go back to the 500 or the 690 if I wasn't going to be doing many trails. So let's try out the map 2. Map 2 is for trails, and you can do it on the fly. Map 2 is a smoother, less aggressive map. Oh yeah, okay. I gotta twist that throttle. It just still runs really good, but you can twist the throttle and modulate it rather than it being so responsive. I think I prefer map 1, which I think most people would. Yeah, I'm just kind of checking, starting from yeah, it's just very smooth off the bottom. Whereas map 1 is just right. I think I prefer map 1 overall. Yeah, and all the data can show up on my phone, which is cool. Okay, map 1. Let's do a... Oh yeah, it rips. Yeah, map 1, I think I'd leave it in map 1. This is kind of like the Doback piggyback, the way it felt is like map 1. So for what that's worth, maybe that's why I prefer it, is it reminds me of what my other bike was like. And you know, the biggest thing you gain here is when you let off, it doesn't just chop the throttle. With the piggyback and with the stock map, when you let off the throttle, it just chops it, and it almost, sometimes when I was riding trails, it would be a little abrupt. Let's see. Yeah, it's not so abrupt when you get off the throttle. Before, it almost threw me over the handlebars if I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so that's what you're gaining with this. You're gaining better throttle operation, better modulation, and when you chop the throttle, it doesn't want to throw you over the bars. They probably have that cut in the emissions, you know, cutting the fuel to help pass emissions. When you let off the throttle, they have it chopping that fuel. This feels like it's a smoother off switch with the, it doesn't feel like it's cutting off all the fuel. I mean, of course, I have no idea how this is mapped, but it's just smoother, not so jerky. So one of the other problems I had with my other one was My other map was, it just, and it idles nice. It just felt like sometimes, if I was trying to maintain a speed, it didn't like doing that. So let's see, pretend we're going through town at 25, 30 here. I'm going like, let's see if we can go through a school zone at 20 here. So here's 15 miles per hour. There's 20. So it didn't really want to maintain one speed before. Okay, not so surgy. It can do it. Let's see what the other map is like, the trail map. So I just switched to the trail map. Let's see what that would feel like. Maintain a constant speed like through town. Not that. Okay, I mean it's definitely easier to control. Both maps work better for that. Okay, let's try some traction control here. See if I can figure that out. Okay, so my understanding is I push this thing. Okay, now I can. Oh, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put it on a 10. There's 2, 1. There's a 9. That must be 10. Okay. Let's put it there. And yeah. Okay, I'm on 10. Okay, so let's see what that feels like. So it's gonna really intervene. Oh, it does work. Oh my goodness. This is loose gravel and I always, oh, it does work and I can't even feel it working. This is really loose gravel, and in map 1 before I was leaving a roost. Holy cow. It works. It gave me traction control on a Husky 350. That's crazy. My KTM 890 had it, and that was pretty cool. I mean, I usually ran it on a 5. It'd give you a little slip, but when you could control the bike. But I like having a little slip. That is crazy. Okay, so that is super easy. I didn't read a manual. I didn't do anything. I'm fiddling with this. Okay, so let's turn around. Let's get off this turn so we're not gonna get slammed by a car as they come rushing in here. So let's get away from that turn. It works. Okay, so let's do this. Let's push this button and get it in traction control mode. It looks like I hold it for a little bit till it flashes. Let's go to a 5. Okay, let me see if that worked. Yeah, it's in a 5. Okay, so nobody's behind me. That should give me a little slip, but a little more slip. Oh, and it does. I like that. I can feel the slip more than a 10, but then it catches it, and I can't feel it working. I can't feel it. I can't feel it doing anything negative to the machine as far as like anything abrupt. That is the craziest thing. I am impressed. Okay, I'm just making sure there's no cars on. So let's. This is a game changer. See, I can get in a drift. Little jump there. This is crazy. So I like 5. Let's go, and this can be done on the fly. Okay, there's map 2. I'm just having a blast here. Okay. So there's 5. You hold it till it flashes. Okay, let's go back to let's go to 1. Okay, so that should be 1. Yep, that's 1. So we're in map 1, 1 where there's going to be no traction control. And this would be fun to take up in the woods or something. I can't get up there today. The install took a little bit of time. Oh yeah, see now I can just break it loose and it just peels out. So basically, no traction control or minimal on one. Oh, this is so awesome! It's like I got a new bike. Yeah, basically no traction control. Okay, and this, oh man, this is stronger than the piggyback by a bit. Now that the bike's nice and warm, wow, very impressed. I am liking this a lot. I am liking this a lot. Okay, so let's, sorry. Yeah, I'm just peeling out. Okay, so let's put it on a, let's go back. I think I'm gonna go like to a 5. It's somewhere in the middle. 0 being, 0 and 1 being minimal intervention for traction control, and 5 being in the middle, 10 being, basically no slip. 4, 5. Okay. And make sure I'm in 5. Yep, okay, so there's map 1. There'd be map 2. Map 1, very easy to use. I didn't read the instructions, I just listened to the video last night, and then now I'm just fiddling as I ride, so it's that easy. Yeah, it's catching that. And it's still a nice strong throttle response, it's just catching the traction. Well, I'll tell you guys, I like this a lot. But that little piggyback, that Dobeck piggyback was doggone good. I mean, it gave a nice strong throttle response, and I wasn't ever unhappy with it. So I mean, I guess in summary, if you've got the money, this is such a slick setup, and it was really pretty easy to swap out that ECU. You just pull the seat and tank and run the wires, and set the TPS, set your idle, and off you go. Plus, it looks high tech. So if you got the money, definitely go with the GET ECU. If you know what, oh man, this is smoother. Makes this bike a little more enjoyable to ride. So anyway, going back, if you got the money, get the GET ECU. But if when I was doing this bike, I was doing two wheels and tires and mirrors and heated grips and man, graphics kit, and it just seemed like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like spending $1,000 in the purchase of the bike. How could I leave that out? Purchase of the bike. It's frosty in here. And all that's going on, and I just didn't feel like spending the money on an ECU. I just didn't. And that Dobeck piggyback from Takomoto, man, it did the trick. It worked good. And the cool part about that is if that thing ever failed, you just unplug it and direct plug in, and it bypasses it, and you're good to go. But that never did happen. It never did fail. But yeah, so that's what I think. And what do you gain with this? You gain a map 1, a gap, map 1, a map 2. You gain traction control. And my background, I was kind of anti-traction. Oh yeah, it's got all the juice. I was kind of anti-traction control for many years because I grew up just with very low tech, low budget bikes, and nothing had traction control, and I felt like it helped me to learn how to control my bike, and there's some truth to that. I think that was good for me, but I do like this. It's nice to have. Oh man, so nice. So something so smooth. So smooth with the throttle. I just feel like I got better control of my bike now. Man, it is frosty up here. Yeah, I don't have the right gear, but anyway, very impressed. It has transferred this bike to make it smoother, more enjoyable to ride. And I enjoyed it before, so I can't say I've been disappointed with this bike. So there you have it. What do you gain with the GET? You gain 2 maps, traction control, You gain smoother throttle response, more predictable. So I like that. What is the con? Well, you know, maybe a little more to the setup. More expense, it would be the big con, really. That's it. Because the setup, honestly, was super easy because you're just unplugging one ECU and plugging the other one in. And if you just wanted map 1 and no traction control, that's all you would need to do. And quite frankly, I could see after a while, that's really all I want is map 1. I mean, I just wanted this thing richened up since I removed the reeds in the airbox and put a billet end cap on. That's all I've done to the bike. And if your bike has some mileage on it, like mine did, it might make sense to, I'm just figuring out where I want to go. It might make sense to put a new spark plug in. This bike had almost 3,000 miles on it, so I just threw a spark plug in and thought that made sense to do that. The one that came out looked actually reasonably good. Man, this is smoother off idle. When I tip in on map 1 or map 2, it's just a little smoother. It's not so on and off with the gas. So you're gaining that. You're gaining better throttle modulation, and you're gaining a smoother throttle. I think the stock ECU, I think they're just trying to make it as good as they can for you know, passing emissions and those kinds of things. But this is definitely an upgrade. And it was pretty easy to install. I know I keep talking about that, but it wasn't bad. And it works fine over here. I mean, I can use my left arm to cross over, but if I didn't have my heated grips and my GPS over here, I would have mounted it right there. That's where I'd like it, but this isn't a problem over here. Here, but I'll do a video of when I get up on some trails and things sometimes, but today I just have time to hit some gravel roads. And yeah, I like it on the gravel. It'll let, like a number 5 will let me just start to hang out the back end and break a little traction, but it's not letting it go too far. Really reminds me of the KTM 890, the traction control that it was running. So that's kind of cool. I feel like I've got that kind of technology and on a dirt bike. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So oh yeah, see there, I can hang the back end out and then it fishtails a little and then it just reels it in. Yeah, I can tell I'll be playing with this a little bit. With the traction control 5 and none. I don't like the 10 really. I tried the 10. It really, I don't feel it intervening, but it's not going to let you break traction. And it's cool. I looked on my phone and it has auto on off switches and phone temps and all that stuff. It can do all those things. Yeah, that's so good. Wow, okay. So, very highly recommend the GET ECU. I'm happy with it. Yeah, hung the back end out and it caught it, but I could feel it was starting to go a little bit. But yeah, the little piggyback controller, that thing was awesome. That thing, for the money, I can't even believe how good that worked. So this is fresh gravel here. Really loosey-goosey stuff. Yeah, just working good. And I can just tell from how much better the throttle control is. If I were on some technical sections, like kind of off idle, just tips in better. You know that where you blip the throttle right off idle, there can be that little hang spot there. Yeah, and when I let off the throttle now, like in first and second gear, it used to just really decelerate, like it was gonna kind of, it's like the fuel was completely cut. The stock map, like I said, really cuts, and this doesn't do that. Huh. Okay, let's go to first gear. That was second. Oh yeah, very nice. Oh, okay, they really spent some time on this. I can tell, they put some time on this map. Very awesome. You're there? That's what happens when you're having too much fun wheeling. Yeah, really nice. It's nice throttle control. And this is turning this into one of my favorite bikes again. I mean, it never wasn't one of my favorite bikes, but it's, I don't know, it's really enjoyable to ride, if that makes sense. Nice to have a day here where it's not pouring rain. That's why this morning I was like, I gotta get this map on, get this Athena GET ECU on. Yeah, Takomoto did good. Really happy. It runs good down low, and it runs good up high. It runs good everywhere. And I do like the map 1. Map 2, you just get to modulate the throttle a lot more, you know, a lot more twist for the same response. And if you're, you know, maybe a beginner rider, that is the map I'd put it in. But it really smooths this bike out into a very, very smooth, drivable machine in either map, but especially that map 1. Very, very nice. On pavement, feels good. I'm probably forgetting to comment on something, but installation was easy. Follow the instructions. Setup was easy. You just set your idle and the TPS. Put your switch where you want it. I like this digital one because then I don't have to have a separate traction control knob. And this is the one I think most people would get, but I love this digital switch. And it's very nice. Pavement, and it's really enjoyable on the road too. It's just very smooth response. Oh yeah. That is fun. Oh boy, I don't know what it is. Rolling through those gears never gets old, does it? Yeah, no, that's up to 65, just ripping along. Had enough of a jerk today that I'm probably gonna need a new rear tire for all these power wheelies, but that's okay. Yeah, bike's running good. good everywhere. Down low, mid-range, top end, it's all good. I can tell it's going to be stall resistant just because of how it was reacting when I was in first and second gear. You cut the throttle, it doesn't just cut it. Other than before, if you had idle and when you let off, and that was it. Now this seems to ease off the throttle a little differently. It doesn't just cut the fuel. Very nice. Alright, well thanks for riding along, everybody. I hope this is useful for someone. I really didn't know what the whole GET ECU thing was about. I just didn't quite understand. And so now I guess I understand. And I like it. It's worth every penny. I can tell they put a lot of work into it. It's very plug and play, surprisingly so. Yeah, I'm just thrilled. That's all I can say. I'm just thrilled. Highly recommend, but only if you have the money. If you don't, get the Dobek piggyback one from Takamoto, and you'll be happy with that too. So yeah, low speed control is better. Noticed before, I didn't like going down any driveways because it was like I had a hard time maintaining any speed. The bike would surge up, it'd slow down. Now I can control the speed much better. Still a small cylinder thumper, so there's still a little bit of variance there, but it's definitely better. And when you cut the ignition, it's not such a drastic change. Okay, I've belabored the point enough. All right, go out, get some riding in, and seize the day. Take care now, everyone. Other than the clutch as much, I can modulate more with the throttle now. I let off the throttle, get on the throttle, and it doesn't just chop it. Before, I had to do most of my riding with the clutch. Very nice. First gear is smoother in map 1 and map 2. Very cool. Roll on the dirt bike. But, you know, I have to admit, the biggest thing is just having that ECU with that map 1. So if you plugged it in, didn't put on a map switch even, that would be fine, and you know, it would work fine. And Rufus approves. So if he approves, then you know, can't be too bad. Hey, look at how cool this is. It has my bike, and then it's monitoring all these things real time from my phone. Cool. And that's by the Wi-Fi. Well, I think this is probably especially important for dual sport, something that comes plated with mirrors, etc., because they come so lean to pass emissions from the factory. But I could see where anything can be improved with proper mapping.